Hey guys, it's KJ.
And John.
From Disney Mom Life. Welcome or welcome back. If you like today's video, please
give it a thumbs up.
Subscribe if you're new.
Ding that notification bell.
And leave us a comment. If you guys are new to our channel, we do a lot of Disney content, which is what we're going to be talking about today. We are parents to 2 kids together, so we do some parenting content as well. And we also do a lot of shop with me's to places like Costco, BJ's,
Sam's Club, Walmart, Target.
All those kinds of things. So if you like any of those things, we would love to have you join our little corner of the internet. And without further ado, today we are here to talk about the Galactic Starcruiser. Let's get right into it. So Disney recently released a trailer, and it just so happened John and I were talking about we were going to Disney in March, and Galactic Starcruiser is starting, is you could stay there soon. So I was like, hey, let's shoot a video, let's like do some research, see what's out there. And it just so happened that I said this yesterday and they put out a trailer. Pure coincidence. So we're going to talk about the trailer, break that down a little bit. We also got a newsletter in the mail from I think it was Disney's credit card. You have a Disney credit card, and you get like an annual newsletter. So in that newsletter, I actually found more information that I could find online. So I thought that we would share that, break that newsletter down, break down the trailer, and let you know what we found. I actually found the newsletter had a lot more, when I say a lot more information, I mean that trailer didn't give us too much, but it definitely had way more information comparably.
And we'll learn a lot more about the Star Wars Cruiser once people are actually staying there, and we're only weeks away from that happening. So, but this is like an early look at what to expect when you're going.
There were a couple of key things that we saw from this trailer. One of them being that's being called the Halcyon, which actually was in this news article or newsletter that we got. And it may have been out before, but the first time I saw or read it was in the newsletter, and then they were talking about the Halcyon, which I had no idea how to pronounce until they were talking about it. But the Halcyon. So it sounds like you're going to board the Halcyon, and then you're going to go to your pod, which makes you think of like a cruise. You get on your cruise ship, if you can, you go to your room, and then you meet up with what's called a muster, which makes me think of like the muster drill on a cruise.
Yeah,
right?
A meeting point is how I think of muster.
So I guess that is when you're going to be meeting other characters. Now the biggest piece of information is the timeline. I think this is the first time in the trailer that we heard when this is going to be taking place. So it's going to be taking place between what 2 movies, John?
Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker. And for those that aren't huge Star Wars aficionados, that's episodes 8 and 9. So it'll be right towards the tail end of the Skywalker saga.
Another big takeaway that was revealed in this trailer is that there is a potential meeting between what 2 big characters from the Star Wars universe?
Kylo Ren and Rey. Mm-hmm. So they're going to have some sort of interaction that takes place between the 2 movies, which could be their only interaction that is not on the actual silver screen. So if you are part of the Star Wars Cruiser, you will get to witness what that interaction is. Maybe it's something grand. Maybe it's something just casual. Maybe they share a tea together. I don't know.
Is it going to be an all-out battle? I'd be curious. So that was the other big piece of information that we heard about. So a lot of us are wondering what it's going to be like, what the experience is going to be like. The Disney cast members in the trailer were talking about that there's at least 3 options you can choose from. So one being you can join
the Resistance or the First Order. Mm-hmm. You could also be a scoundrel, or you could be mixed up in a love story. Yeah,
that one was interesting to me. I think what they're saying is you can watch the love story unfold. Otherwise, this is a really expensive way to meet your love match. It can't be that.
Well, I mean, if you and I were going on together, it could be our love story. I think that's sort of what they meant. I don't know if they necessarily was going to become Match.com meets Disney.
I think you were going to watch a love story unfold. Let us know in the comments down below what you think about that one, because I thought that was an interesting thing to throw in, and maybe they're throwing that tidbit of information in because they're saying it's not just for Star Wars fans. So it's like if you want to people watch, if you don't want to be part of all the Star Wars saga.
Wait, what would you want to be though?
What would I want to be?
You want to be part of the Resistance, the First? I would want to be part of the First Order. That would be fun to me because it's not real life. So you always want to play the bad guy in the movie, right? Isn't that like no? You want to play the good guy?
Yeah.
I always want to be Darth Vader in a Star Wars movie.
Okay, well, not me. Anyway, well, the thing is though, you know what kind of stinks about it is because it's quite a pretty penny to stay there. It's not like, it's really like a once in a lifetime kind of experience, or not quite as an often lifetime experience.
Right.
So, because I was like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if you could try all different ones, like when you go on Star Tours and there's different options. So speaking of that, let's go to the newsletter and break it down. There were several categories within this newsletter, so we're sort of just going to kind of go through them and relay that info to you. So Disney is saying this is a first of its kind experience, which I'm sure that it is, and the main thing in the newsletter it talks about that you're going to get to choose your own path, which you were sort of talking about with the trailer. So my question was, is this going to be like Star Tours? You know, are you going to have all these different options if you choose this path and then this path and this path, and that's sort of your story? Like if John and I went and I said, I'm going to do, you know, First Order and you're going to do...
Well, the question is, will it be predetermined? Because Star Tours is predetermined for you, right? So the question is, if you're First Order, is the path going to be determined, or do you determine the path?
Well, it says you determine. What I mean by Star Tours is that are there all of these different options. So basically Star Tours is stringing together a bunch of different scenes. So I'm wondering if is that what it's going to be like? If you're choosing your own path, are these things already mapped out? So if you're going to go to the lounge and you go have a drink with a specific character, everyone who goes and has a drink with a specific character.
Right. Does every action alter your next action?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, based on the way it's written, and maybe this dates me, but I view it as a choose-your-own-adventure type book, right? Where you read a page and then it tells you, skip to now page 67, and, you know, I kind of feel like it's going to be, whichever options you choose, it's going to determine the outcome.
So then they talk about how it begins, which I was definitely curious about what happens when you arrive. Are you immediately transported?
Yeah, I mean, listen, that's one of the things that I'm most curious about, too. When you first walk in the doors of the Starcruiser, are you immediately transported into space? How do you go from, you know, Disney World to being immersed in space and not have any kind of view of the outdoors?
So in the article it says, when you arrive, you'll be escorted to a launch pod where you will travel to the Halcyon Starcruiser. So we were thinking, is this going to be like Space 220 where you get on some sort of elevator, or something like when you go to Haunted Mansion and you're in Disneyland, you're actually on an elevator, in Disney World the room just moves up. So something like that. Obviously
they're going to use some sort of special effects that you're leaving the confines of Central Florida and beaming you to space. I think it will probably be a lot like Space 220. Disney is known to use a lot of the same sort of intellectual properties in different, you know, attractions, and I think that's probably a pretty good bet, is that we'll be kind of sent to space that way.
As we mentioned earlier, you're going to be somehow transported to the Halcyon, then you go to your launch pod, and then to this muster. So again, we're curious about what the muster will be. You're going to meet different characters. It talks about meeting other guests on the Halcyon, so I wonder if you'll be... maybe like they group you at some point, like you're gonna be working with other guests, or you know, if it was just the two of us and we weren't traveling in a family, would we be grouped with other people? Because how are they gonna have each, you know, is every individual gonna have their own story? So that's something that we definitely have questions about.
It could be individuals, or it could be all the same people that are picking these options will all be together. You know?
Because they're having you. They point out in the article that they're gonna have you meet up together. So I thought that was significant.
The way I view this concept is like a grand escape the room. Either it's puzzles or storylines and you're constantly moving to the next, and you're probably working with a group of people and your interactions cause, you know, the next movements.
Well, speaking of working with people, they do mention the next thing they talk about in the article is character interaction, and not like the character interaction we're used to, but I think it's a full-on when you're involved, when you go to like a play and you're like part of the play, like an interactive play. I guess that's sort of what it's going to be like. So in the article, one of the examples they give is, you know, you're at one of the lounges, which we've seen some concept art for and seen some concept videos for, and you're sipping a drink with one of the characters, and the next thing you know,
you're involved in a job smuggling coaxium from Batuu, which is the Hollywood Studios land in Star Wars land.
So that was one of the examples they gave. Again, is this going to be individuals? Is it going to be as a group? We'll find out once people start staying there.
And will we see, when we're at Hollywood Studios in March, will we see people from the Star Wars cruiser running around looking, smuggling coaxium out of, and we're just, you know, we're just trying to get a blue drink, you know, and a blue milk, excuse me, and we're watching people steal coaxium.
Yeah, that was another big question we had. Are we going to be seeing these people?
And their stories.
Yeah, on being untold on this.
We're basically extras in their Star Wars cruiser movie. The
next thing they talk about are food and entertainment. Just like in Disneyland, where they have the Avengers Campus and they have Pym's Kitchen with all their different cool things they have there. And then in
Galaxy's Edge.
Yes, Galaxy's Edge. They have things like the Ronto wrap that, you know, it's known for. They're going to have some specialty items that are exclusive to the Star Wars Cruiser. I'm sure a lot of them are going to be Instagrammable things, and to sort of give your friends FOMO, that would be my guess, that it's going to be, because it's really an exclusive thing. So anyone who's taking pictures and posting on Instagram, yeah, I'd really say that that's how it's going to be, that they're going to be more Instagram-worthy type of food items, or at least dessert items. And then as far as the entertainment, they are going to have some type of music that is, again, exclusive to the Starcruiser. And then the last thing that the article mentions is that you can take an excursion to Batuu, which we already knew, and the thing that we're curious about, are we going to be seeing people's stories unfold right in front of us? So if we do ever get the opportunity to stay there, what are you most looking forward to?
One of the things I hope Disney does, and as people start to board the Starcruiser and give their feedback, perhaps things might change. I really hope they don't stick to this storyline that's between just the two movies, where it's sort of like just in the last trilogy. I would love to be on a Starcruiser where you never know what Star Wars character from whatever line of the, you know, Star Wars Galactic Universe could be on board. You know, I want to turn a corner and see, you know, Mando saying, "This is the way," to the cafeteria. You know, why not? Like, why does it have to be just like this small little part of the timeline? Like, who cares that it's like, that it doesn't fit into, like, I don't know, some sort of set storyline? I want to be able to be on a cruiser that everyone that's ever graced the Star Wars universe could be on that ship at the same time. I could run into Darth Vader or Yoda or Grogu or Mando or Boba Fett, run into Qui-Gon Jinn or young Obi-Wan or Darth Maul. So I really hope that as this evolves, that the stories can go beyond just this small part of the timeline. Because while I love Kylo Ren and Rey and the new trilogy, I would love for the experience to be Han, Luke, and all those other movies and beyond. I think that would make it an experience that would be, even though it wouldn't fit into like a story they're trying to tell or fit into Batuu, who cares at that point, you know? I want to be on a Star Wars ship where I could see my favorite characters.
Yeah, I would love to see Mando would probably be one of the ones I'd
and
be most
Grogu,
excited
come
for.
on.
Well, yes, that's what I mean. They
Grogu is, and you know, I want to be on there, and you know those little things on the Death Star that like are like wheeling around, like I want those things driving around the, you know, anything that's ever graced the Star Wars universe should be on that ship.
Yeah, that would be cool. You know, it'd be really cool if they just had, that was your storyline, like you chose your path that way.
That would be cool too.
I think if you were like with young Anakin, or you were with young Luke, or you were with Rey or Mando.
And I want stormtroopers checking you in. You know, when you check in at the front desk, I want it to be stormtroopers, not just some people like that are clearly just humans with like a little Star Wars, you know, button-up suit. I want stormtroopers, aliens. That's what I want checking you in. Because that's what they said we were going to get with Batuu, right?
Yeah.
But it's mostly just humans. Wookiees, how cool would that be if a Wookiee's checking you in? You might not be able to understand what room you're supposed to go to, but it would still be cool.
It would be cool. So we hope you enjoyed this video with our perspective of what the Starcruiser is going to look like. If you are going to be staying there, we would love, love, love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below, because we're incredibly curious about what this experience is going to be like.
The thing that I'm probably most curious about is when people are taking maybe their once a year Florida Walt Disney World vacation, how many people are going to be willing to give up 2 days of that vacation to be exclusively on the Star Wars Starcruiser?
Well, my guess is if you can afford this, you probably can afford a long Disney vacation.
We'll go back. You know,
well, you might just be staying for a long time. You're staying 2 days there, and then, you know, the rest of your week.
2 days on the Starcruiser, the other 2 days of music.
Yeah.
So you can afford the Starcruiser.
But we hope you guys enjoyed this video. I thought that newsletter was super interesting. If it has a link, I will leave it below. But it's for Disney credit card, Disney Visa card holders, Visa, which John has.
Don't tell my personal info. I'm kidding. Yes.
I think it's on your card number. But anyway, I thought that was really interesting. So if you guys did like this video, we would love for you to give it a thumbs up. It really spreads the word about our channel. We do have some Disney vlogs, Disney reviews, restaurant reviews coming up because we are going back in March. We are taking the kids. Again, we really hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up.
This is the way.
Subscribe if you're new. Ding that notification bell if you want to be alerted to when we post our Disney video shop with me's and our parent content. And with that, maybe we'll see you where? On the Starcruiser? Probably not, but we will see you in Disney, and we will see you real soon.
And we'll see you at the park.
Bye, guys.